Greetings, comrades! This is Lemonade Live, and I am here with another raw game review. By raw, I mean that it is uncut, unedited, and filmed before live Twitch audience. Today, the game we play, Papers, Please, a dystopian papers simulator. Imagine, if you will, you live in dystopian country of Aristatska. You are immigration officer, working on border of East and West Dresden. A stamp on the passport from you can spell the death or salvation of traveler. If you are inefficient, you will be replaced. If you are not thorough, you will be replaced. You will no doubt make some very difficult decisions. The totalitarian government controls every aspect of your life and the life of your family, who you hope each night do not starve to death or freeze, because Aristatska is a very cold country. If these things sound appealing to you, then perhaps Papers, Please is the game for you. Glory to Aristatska! Woo! Okay. I can't keep that up for the whole review, guys. I'm sorry. Let's dive right into the gameplay, because a game is not a game without the gameplay. Am I right? I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. The gameplay to Papers, Please is actually very unique. Turn my volume down. If I had to compare it to another game, I might compare it to Oregon Trail. For all you older gamers who remember playing Oregon Trail in classrooms as a learning tool, there's some similarities. Both games have similar inventory management and budget systems. Both games are going to make some difficult decisions, and both games will force you to watch your family die a slow death should you fail. So just a few similarities there. Let me just show you the basics. Let's stamp this guy right here. Just take the citations. So, you start by clicking this little speaker here, calling the next traveler into your office. And they're going to go ahead and slide their papers to you. Papers, please. See? The game's namesake. They'll usually have a passport and some other documents. And you look at the passport, inspect it. You are an inspector after all. And based on the rules, you either approve them and allow them to enter into the country, or deny them, possibly leading to their death. Looking at this, this looks like a woman, but the passport says male, so denied! On the way she goes. Where she stops, we don't know. So, those are the basics, but hardly they don't hardly seem basic. It might seem a little complicated at first, but trust me, they start off very simple, and then the gameplay builds on itself. It slowly evolves, and I think that's why it works, because it keeps the game fresh all the way from day 1 all the way to day 30 and beyond. They keep adding new aspects to the gameplay. Right now we're just checking passports. Eventually you will be fingerprinting people. You will be taking pictures and looking for contraband. You'll be detaining criminals. And even on the rare occasion, you'll be shooting at a terrorist who's rushing the border. So you get some interesting stuff going on there. The gameplay of Papers, Please is an interesting mix between simulator, puzzle game, inventory management, and memory game. So, as a simulator, I think that Papers, Please really works. And what I mean by that, what I mean by that it succeeds, and the way that it succeeds is it really pulls you into this environment. You really feel like you're living in this horrible dystopian country. You feel the pressure that your supervisors are putting on you. You fear for your family's lives as your bank account dwindles slower and slower and lower. So I think that it really succeeds as a simulator. One thing about modern simulators, they're kind of infamous for having what sounds like very boring subject matter. You've got Train Simulator 2015, Auto Mechanic, Boat Simulator, Goat Simulator, Grass Simulator, the list goes on. Papers, Please is no exception. But you play those games, and you play this game, a paper simulator, and they're actually surprisingly entertaining, and they're very fun. So that's why it succeeds as a simulator. Papers, Please is also a puzzle game. And what's interesting about the puzzle aspect is the diversity that the diversity that the game throws at you as far as puzzles go. Puzzles anywhere from trying to figure out how to get a disgruntled traveler to leave your booth, all the way to actual puzzles. Secret organizations might slide you a pictograph and expect you to solve it. Now, if that doesn't sound like your thing, don't worry. There's actually 20 different endings to this game. So there's a lot of ways that it can pan out. You really have a lot of freedom to decide which puzzles to solve and which ones to ignore. So that's the puzzle aspect of it. Papers, Please is also an inventory management game. Now, by inventory management, I mean that you have a limited amount of desktop real estate. What is desktop real estate? Well, look at this desk right here. This is your desk, and you've got a rule book. You can flip through it and see all the useful rules for the day, issuing cities, different emblems to look at. You've also got the bulletins for the day. The bulletin's kind of like a memo and little instructions, and sometimes they have a wanted poster in there, so you can look at the most wanted and maybe detain them. You've also got citations that we are getting right now because I'm not actually paying attention to the game. I'm paying attention to you fine people. And finally, you're getting all these documents from the people. You got their passport, you got their entry pass, and as the game goes, you just get more and more documents, and your desk can become literally buried in paperwork. Now think about that for a minute. I'm talking about a game that I really like and that I really think is fun, and your desk can literally become buried in paperwork. It sounds crazy, but trust me, it's actually quite fun. So, as an inventory management game, it works. Before I talk about the other aspect of that, I want to talk a little bit about moral dilemmas. So, Papers, Please present you with a certain amount of moral dilemmas. How I would describe that is it's any choice in a game when you are given a choice and your morality is called into play. So very often there'll be like a clear cut, this is the right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do, make your choice. And what I really like about Papers, Please is just like the color palette here, a lot of the morality is very gray. The lines are blurred. It's kind of difficult to make the right decision. For instance, you might see a husband, he goes through with a valid passport, and he tells you, right behind me is my wife, and she doesn't have a valid passport, but if you don't let her through, she will die. So you have to make this decision, this life or death decision, whether to let her through. Where the lines are blurred is you let her through, you get a citation. Those citations not only cost money, but you're also risking getting fired. So by making that choice of saving that woman, it's actually like a form of self-sacrifice because you also have to put your neck on the line. What's cool about that compared to a lot of other games that have moral dilemmas, look back to old RPGs. They always used to do this. They give you a chance to steal the church money or put it back. Now, the difference here, I think, is that in those games, most of the time, if you did the quote-unquote right thing, you would be rewarded for it eventually. I think what they did is they subscribed to a concept of karma. I get not the old karma, not the Hindu concept of karma, but more the pop culture karma that you might see in My Name is Earl. So basically, you do good things and good things happen to you. You do bad things and bad things will happen to you. Not in Papers, Please. You let that lady through, you get a citation. It costs you money. You can take bribes, for instance. People will give you money to let them through the border, and you can get away with it. And you're actually rewarded with this money. So there's all kinds of different things like that. Moral dilemmas, very interesting. I think in a game, when the primary consequences of a moral dilemma are emotional, that's when it's best. I say that again because that's a little complicated. Moral dilemmas in games are best when the primary consequence is emotional. And that's just what it is. If you allow yourself to feel that emotion, you're going to have a lot more fun with this game, basically. So, the final aspect of the gameplay is a memory game. So, at the beginning of each day, you're going to be given this unlimited amount of period. Oh, there it is right here. Be kind to my wife after me. So this is an example of a moral dilemma. In any case, to continue talking about the memory aspect of the game, if you take that time at the beginning of the day to kind of memorize the different clues in your rule book, you're going to have an easier time. Now, what I really like about this game is if you are not that good at memorizing things, that's perfectly fine. You've got the rule book right here. You've got plenty of time in the day to be able to kind of flip through the rule book. What I like to do is stay on the map. Say this person here, this woman, who I know this is a bad passport. She's from Antegria, and you can look at it. You can see the issuing state and everything. So you can kind of flip through the book, and it'll help you out. You don't have to memorize everything, and that's what I really like about it, because I'm actually not a big fan of memory games. I just don't have that good a memory. So let's go ahead and stamp her passport. Oh, denied. Oh, heartless. Why? You have doomed me. Oh. So the day is done. Let's go back to inventory management for a minute. There's also a budget screen, which we are in right now. At the end of each day, you get a certain amount of pay based on how well you did. That's right here, the salary. You also have to pay your rent, your food, and your heat, and that's your bottom line. Your bottom line must be above zero. If it is not, you'll be thrown in prison. So that's kind of where the pressure comes from. Let's go ahead and go without today. Save a little bit of extra money, shall we? And you sleep. And this is the portion of the game that actually reminds me a lot of Oregon Trail. So we've talked about the gameplay extensively. Let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time on the graphics. Now look at these graphics. One thing about modern simulators is they're all kind of prone to using the same kind of graphics. They all go for photorealistic graphics to try to make you feel like you're there in the cockpit or wherever you are. Make you feel like you're sitting in an actual field of grass or you're playing with an actual goat. Well, this game, Papers, Please, instead opts for a very stylistic look. So this look is very stylized. It's almost cartoony. And what I really like about it is it pulls it off. It's not so much about the graphics being realistic and tricking your brain into thinking you're actually there. It's more about making you feel something. And this really muted color palette and these people, they make me feel like I'm there, like I'm in this horrible, oppressive regime. It's actually kind of based off of George Orwell's 1984. So if that's what you're feeling when you're looking at this, then it's done its job. And that's what I'm feeling. Actually, like, the people aren't even realistic colors. It's like the color palette of the world, of this drab, depressing, oppressive world, has infected the people. And it's kind of creepy. I've talked to people who think that the graphics are pretty creepy in this game, and I tend to agree. So I guess the point of them going with this very stylized graphic style, I know that they didn't originally do it to get that feel. It was probably more to keep the game low budget. It was made by a very small company. It was a very low budget. And as you can see, it looks very low budget. It's easier to develop for a game like this as opposed to one with photorealistic graphics. But the happy consequence is what we just talked about. So that's the graphics. I think we're just about done talking about the game. It's pretty awesome. I really like it. Thumbs up. So, if you are brave, if you are ready to protect your country of Aristatska, then buy Papers, Please. Have fun and good luck. Glory to Aristatska! Well, okay, that was the review. If you enjoyed the review, click down here to subscribe. If you want to keep playing, keep watching, click over here. Next video, 5 helpful tips to be a better inspector. Good luck and have fun. Alright, this is Lemonade Live, and I am here to give you more tips and tricks to be a better inspector. Tip number 1, don't reload iron mode. It is very, very easy. If you screw up, you make error, hit escape, go to main menu. Reload the day, try again like it was never happening. This is a strategy for cowards. Only cowards do this. A true gamer plays iron mode. No saves, no loads, no resets. Let the chips fall where they may. This is how you should play this game. This is how it was intended to be played. Iron mode. What you do, you do. Tip number 2. The wiki is for the weak. It is also equally easy to hit Shift and Tab and go to website. Whoa. Go ahead and search papers, please. Wiki. Maybe it's not so easy. And there you have it. You're on Wiki, you have characters, you can look through every day and know exactly what to expect. This as well is a strategy for cowards. You should figure out everything yourself and live it just as you are playing the game in the character's eyes. Do not use the wiki, it is for the weak. Tip number 3, don't be fools, study the rules. This is what you should do. At the beginning of each day, look at the book, read it, memorize it, learn it, especially the very first page of the book, the rules. It is the most basic concept to know each of these rules. They change throughout the day, so be very careful to read them. At the beginning of the day, if you do not call a traveler into your office, the clock will not tick. You have as much time as you need. Today, entrant must have passport. All documents must be current. Citizens must have an ID card. Foreigners require an entry pass. And workers must have a work pass. Learn the rules. Don't be fools. Tip number 4. 4 that is. Organize to stay alive. Like I said before, your desk can become very buried in paperwork. You must be very careful to study the desk's use. Find a place for everything and always use that place each day so you know where it is. If you get disorganized, if you get buried in paperwork, you will be less efficient. You will not be able to process enough passes. You will not be able to feed your family. So, stay organized to stay alive. 5th and final tip for being a better inspector. To win the race, slow your pace. You will very often feel pressured to go too fast. Do not go too fast. Every single citation is one step closer to the gulag. Every single citation is one step closer to your family starving or freezing to death. Be very careful and check every single passport for every single aspect. Do not worry if you've not processed enough visits. As long as you are thorough, as long as you get 4 or 5 good ones without any errors, you will be fine. This has been 5 tips. I am Lemonade Live, and glory to Ostatska! If you enjoyed the video, click subscribe below. If you wish to continue watching, click over here for more of the playthrough. Next, we will take a short break and have a drinking game. A Statskin drinking game. One moment, please.